your base are belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-One and Mr. Factastic.
Totally caught you eating jelly beans.
Yep.
Welcome to Gamers Digest. We took a week off last week for a very important holiday, my 472 wedding anniversary. I think that's close. I mean, time just flies by so fast.
Yeah, it's been 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. It's weird that you know that.
I've been living with you guys since forever.
Since pretty much we were together. So yeah, 4 years. It's a blast. Everybody should get married. Everybody. That's all I'll say.
Eventually.
We are a gaming news podcast. We talk about news, rumors. We do reviews, previews, which we have one of each this week.
Yeah, we do.
We have some news. I didn't really do a lot of news from last week because old news is boring.
Yeah.
So there.
Well, we kept the really good stuff.
Yeah, you know. You'll be previewing Injustice.
Gods Among Us.
Us.
I was going to call it Gods Among Men, but it feels like a movie or something.
Our book, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's the new new fighting game from NetherRealm, right?
Mm-hmm. Mortal Kombat creators.
Sounds
DC
good.
characters. So, it's alright. It's coming out in a couple weeks, so I thought I'd talk about that game.
Alright. And I'm actually going to world premiere. I can say world premiere now. My review for Starcraft 2. It's my first attempt at voice work, and it is pretty rough. So I will warn you, about an hour in advance.
It ain't gonna be that bad, is it?
No, I think some of it was the technical problems. Like I probably should have pulled the good mic back there. But my video editing skills definitely took a step up. So
nice.
They'll get better. I mean, it's our first one. We're pretty much trying a new format now, where we're gonna actually post review videos, and we'll world premiere them on the show, and then they'll also be on our YouTube channel alone, and link around. So just casting that net a little further.
Cool.
Yeah, we are as big as IGN.
We're expanding.
Right. So, what did you play last 2 weeks?
Battlefield 3.
Yeah?
Obviously. And I've been watching a lot of SimCity Let's Plays on YouTube.
SimCity, I was a doubter, because I got into one of the betas, and I wasn't too impressed with it. Mm-hmm. But in the beta, they confined you to your own plot. Like, you couldn't go out. You couldn't have people around you.
No region play or anything?
Yeah, it was just single city play. And that alone is pretty rough. But once you get into the region play, it's actually really good. Because I have been playing a lot of SimCity. I haven't been watching it. I've actually been playing it. And it is very addicting. Like, up until right before I started making dinner before the show, I started my new oil business.
Nice.
So, expanding into that. So
nice. That's good. I mean, they're really. I've been watching the game be played, and it's pretty fun.
It's really fun. Like I have actually watched a couple of Let's Plays, but just not recently. Pretty much when it launched, after people could play it. And it's fun watching people fail. Like it is so fun to watch somebody build such a huge city and forget key points in an infrastructure and just watch it crumble upon itself.
Or a little Godzilla comes and destroys part of the little...
I unlocked him, but
yeah?
I've been afraid to use him, because I do want to see them, because if you meet certain achievements, you can unlock certain disasters and call them on yourself. The only real major disasters I've had so far are I've had a nuclear reactor blow up, which basically took one town completely out of the picture. It has it has a quarter of the area is livable space at this point.
Wow.
And then meteors and UFOs. So UFOs don't really cause that much damage.
They just abduct a few people.
Scare a few people, and then sometimes they'll nuke a couple of houses. But
wow. I've seen a meteor shower, and that was rough on the city.
Yeah, because it seems like it knows right where to target, like, the key points. Like, when it hit me, it hit both hospitals, and all my drilling operations.
Yeah, that's crippling.
Yeah. I also played a lot of Starcraft 2: Heart of the Swarm. A lot of strategy this week. Finished BioShock Infinite, which is amazing, but I'll do a review on that probably next week. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, but there's got to be some in there. And then, World of Warcraft. Battle Block Theater came out last week.
That's right, it did.
Behemoth's next game, and that game is like stupid addictive. It's like a 2D platformer, and it's so polished like Behemoth has done before. And I actually want to get us together to do a Let's Play, because there's a competitive side to it, and then there's like a co-op side to it. So it could be really fun to do both. So
yeah, we should definitely. I mean, I remember we previewed Battle Block Theater on the show a while back.
yeah, I mean the first announcement came in 2009, and they've been working on it ever since.
Yeah.
they actually have a trailer out that makes fun of that. So it's
nice.
It's good, and I'll probably do a review on that once I'm done. But there is like 80 or 90 some levels in that.
Wow.
And I mean, they're quick levels. Like it really reminds me of like an iOS game. Like the levels themselves are probably, once you know what's there and you're going for like a speed run, you can probably do it in like 30 to 40 seconds. But the first time you got to figure out where everything is, if you want to find the collectibles, stuff like that.
That can make things a little longer.
Yeah. So we got some big news this week. Why don't we save the really big one for last, which is the second one on the list?
Okay.
Because that is obviously the big one, and we will probably talk about that the most.
Okay.
Or we can do it first. It's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you. It's your call.
Let's do it first, because looking over the list, there's a couple that kind of depend on that. So the big news is actually sad news. There's a lot of sad news this week.
Yeah, it's been a sad couple weeks. Yeah.
Disney shut down LucasArts, which is the video game side of LucasArts.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the company that's made all the Star Wars video games, among other games too. I mean, they did like Secret of Monkey Island.
Yeah, Monkey Island.
They did a lot of adventure.
I mean,
games
back in like 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
They were making games. So.
Yeah, they were one of the few holdouts from way back.
So like basically, they shut they shut LucasArts down, and they're going to be opting for like a licensing model for getting future games out, like Star Wars games and stuff. They're going to outsource to them.
So now we're going to get Call of Duty Star Wars.
Yeah, or just a Star Wars game made by Treyarch, which is dangerous. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I mean, it could be bad. I'm not that much of a Call of Duty hater.
Yes, you are.
I'm trying not to be.
Okay. Well, the initial games in development, there were two. They were both Star Wars games. One of them was like a Battlefront Xbox Live game. It's kind of like going to be the teaser for Battlefront 3. They're kind of testing the waters. That one is almost outright canceled.
Yeah.
They said there is almost no hope of that one. The other big one is
1313.
1313. And they said there might be hope for that one. It's currently halted.
Yeah, it was like supposed to come out later this year. So, I mean, it would suck for them. They had gotten so much work done on the game, and then it's just. I mean, it's happened before in the video game industry, but.
Yeah, the video game industry is really weird. Like, the movie industry typically doesn't do that. Like when they put money into something, they make sure it comes out one way or the other. Like even
if it flops.
Yeah, especially if it flops. But like Red Dawn, the new Red Dawn is a good example. MGM was having problems, and then they also wanted to market it to China. So rather than scrap it, they just dumped more money into it and retooled it, changed the bad guy from China to North Korea. And video game companies for some reason don't do that. Like they put a bunch of time and money into stuff, and then they just drop it.
Yeah, like just screw it. Just let it sit in development hell.
Right.
That's what they call it. Yeah.
Duke Nukem Forever, stuff like that. Doom 4 is having that problem now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's really stupid that developers do that. Like, well, I guess it's really publishers at that point, because the developers probably want to make the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll keep an eye on 1313 because when they showed the demos of it, it looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, it looked cool. Like kind of reminiscent. It's like it looked like an action game, kind of like Uncharted-ish. With some jumping and hanging on things. And Kratos wants to bother us during the show.
Yes. And well, with that, the part of the studio that made the Jedi Outcast and the Jedi Academy games, which are actually probably some of the more popular games, they actually released the source code for them, and that's pretty cool. So you can go in and tinker with them and stuff like that. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what people do with them. If I had any kind of coding knowledge and that type of coding, I would jump on that and make my own Star Wars game.
Yeah, that would be neat. The modding community for the PC has always been like really awesome. So
yeah, I mean, I played Jedi Outcast for years. I mean, that game was amazing, especially the multiplayer, because it was like the truest lightsaber combat at the time. And the modding community for that game was already insane. Like, you had people making their own characters and stuff like that. So now that they can actually get into the game engine and mess around, that's impressive.
Yeah, imagine what they'll come out with like next year or something like that.
Jedi Outcast 3.
There was a mod for Half-Life 2 that was a Jurassic Park mod, and like I think they were trying to get it out by the time the 3D movie came out. It looked amazing.
Did you see the 3D movie?
Nah.
Oh, you haven't gone and seen it?
Not yet.
We all need to go see that.
We should. We should.
All right. Well, you posted this story, and then I had to redact it.
Yeah, it changed. Basically, yeah, this is like a two-faced story here.
Right.
Originally, Epic Games had made their little announcement. Like they had at the Game Developers Conference, they had an announcement that the Unreal Engine 4 technology wouldn't be available for the Wii U.
And everybody that bought a Wii U, all 7 of them, was like, "Dang, we're not gonna have any good-looking games."
Everybody's pissed. They also the Frostbite 3 engine was said that it wouldn't be available.
And they haven't come back.
Yeah, they haven't redacted that statement yet.
Yeah, that one.
But basically, the next day, they said that if you wanted to use the Unreal 4 engine to create a Wii U game, you could.
Right.
I did look. I mean, I remember reading more into that story. It's just that really the way it boiled down to, or what it boiled down to, was that it just wasn't feasible to create an Unreal 4 engine game for the Wii U and tailor it to the controller. Yeah, the guy who that they wrote the story on,
right.
he really seemed to push that just the controller hardware was awkward.
Which is funny because at the same convention, and this isn't a news story, so I don't know if you read this or not, but at the same convention, other developers, like big name developers, were saying that people will come to rely on a second screen, much like PC users. I recently just got a second screen and now I'm spoiled. Going back to one screen would be rough because you can just hop back and forth and stuff. Like when I'm in World of Warcraft, there's a lot of number crunching and stuff, and you can change stats on gear to maximize it. And with the second screen, I don't have to Alt-Tab, find the website and stuff.
Yeah.
Pull it up, drag it over.
Yeah, the guy that on the Let's Play that I do, I watched Quill18's Let's Play for SimCity. He has 2 screens. Yeah. And you can see him, you can hear him typing on his other screen or whatever.
Right.
It's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff came out at GDC. They talked about the Xbox, the next Xbox, a little bit. The next box. There you go. Heard here probably not first, but
yeah.
There you go. They said they talked about it a little bit, and then one of the guys from Microsoft went on Twitter and started bashing criticisms about it. One of the big things about the next Xbox is they say it's going to be always on. It's going to have that always on internet connection. And he hopped on Twitter and he was like, I don't get what the big deal about always on internet connection is. It's not a big deal. Deal with it. And that's actually what he said. And of course, other developers were like, did SimCity and Diablo 3 not teach you guys anything? Like they got into a war, and then finally Microsoft stepped in and said, you know, he's not speaking for us. We haven't announced anything on the Xbox yet.
So basically, on next week's show, there might be another layoff.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but Microsoft stepped in and they like hammered him down. They were like, we haven't announced anything. We get this as a reported feature, but we haven't said anything for sure yet. And his reviews don't reflect what we think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I saw like a Penny Arcade song about that today, about the always on Xbox.
Twitter, I think, is getting people in trouble. Like, we read like every day almost somebody says something dumb on Twitter, like or Facebook. Like that was the big Blizzard problem. Is the head of Diablo 3 went on Facebook and said some things, which we reported on, and it was pretty rough. So social media is actually kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's it's a loose cannon.
Another strike to the Wii U owners. You get to actually this might be a plus.
Yeah, this is a plus. This is the pro.
Aliens Colonial Marines missed its Wii U release date, and it will permanently miss its release date because it was canceled. Yeah, it just flat out said, yeah, we're not developing it because at this point they know it's probably not going to sell.
Yeah, because the game's bad.
Well, I mean, you couple bad game with low selling system. How many are you really going to sell?
Yeah. Speaking of Wii U and not selling well, Dragon Quest X over in Japan had a super weak launch. So I mean, Dragon Quest, that's like I can't think of the right word.
That's like their big RPG franchise over there.
Other than Final Fantasy.
Dragon Quest is actually bigger over there than I think Final Fantasy. Well, maybe not anymore, but it used to be. Like that was like
I would believe it.
That was like their flagship thing. And that's basically what keeps Akira Toriyama at work.
Maybe because this wasn't going to do well, or maybe they knew. Maybe that's why it's going back to Dragon Ball Z.
Right. Maybe. And I mean, coupled with that, Square Enix, probably due to this low sales and just low sales across the board in general, Square Enix laid off like half of their staff in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and they're gonna be laying off more people, like the CEO or something like that, and of marketing and after E3. So there's still more to come.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of bad news this week.
Yeah.
The gaming industry is crumbling. What are we gonna play? We're gonna go back to playing with sticks and dirt.
That's gonna suck.
Yeah. I'm gonna draw a little TV and go crazy like Peter did.
or it might, force us to go outside.
I did buy a football today.
I was about to say, throw a football around. I played mini golf yesterday. I sucked really bad, but
you're right.
I mean, maybe,
it's so much easier in the game when it gives me the line.
Man. Yeah, I was trying to use strategy and it just did not work.
You're trying to use strategy, if I place the ball here, she won't be able to hit it. She'll have to go around it.
I tried,
and I'm gonna Zerg rush, and
I lost by 3 strokes.
3 strokes. That's rough.
I know.
Well, there's a strict 6-stroke limit, so how many of those did you take?
There's a 5-stroke limit.
5-stroke limit.
I took a couple of them.
Oh man.
But maybe we'll go outside.
Yeah, there you go. Well, for the time being, we still have plenty of stuff to play. God of War just got an update. God of War Ascension. You can dump more time into that. They raised the level cap, did some adjusting, and added a bunch of new stuff. So if you've been playing God of War pretty religiously, you can go back and play it again. Of course, you probably already know that.
Yeah.
I never made it to the max level. I think I got, because it was 30 and then went to 40, and I think the highest I made it was like 18.
I don't think I've ever maxed a level in anything. I mean, Kingdom Hearts, the very first one. I maxed my level out, like everything.
I have to go. There's currently an ice cream.
Yeah, there's an ice cream truck. We got to get some ice cream. But that's the one that stays for a while.
Oh, is that the shady ice cream truck?
Yeah, the shady ice cream truck.
Oh, he's got the good stuff.
Oh, there's some more bad news. Sega Australia.
Might as well wrap it up.
Let's go to some bad news. Sega Australia is closing later this year. They did an Olympics game. Yeah, basically, there's like a huge amount of restructuring going on in the video
Everywhere.
game. Yeah, everywhere. I mean, they're adapting to this new economy and everything, and eventually we won't be talking about all this bad news. I think there's still a little bit more, though.
Yeah, the High Moon developers who are, developed the Deadpool game, which is coming out this summer. Deadpool went in and systematically fired 40 of them in a very meta reference. But, yeah, 40 High Moon Studio developers were laid off. Activision came out and said, it's nothing serious. The game's already done. It's just, we don't need developers for a game that's already been developed. So, as much as it stinks, I think that's kind of how business is now. Like,
it reminds me a lot of the film industry. Like, say you're an electrician or a gaffer. You set up lights and stuff for a movie.
Right.
Basically when that movie's done or that TV season is done, you lose your job.
Right.
You just got to go to the next one. So, I mean, maybe the video game industry is like morphing into something like that. Oh, I'm a developer. Let me get hired for this, Deadpool video game project, and when that's done, that game's done. After it's developed, you're out of a job. You got to go to the next one.
Right.
So.
I think we're going to start seeing less developers like Ken Levine and Cliffy B and all those big name developers, because no one franchise is probably going to keep a head developer. Like, you don't hear us ever talk about like Call of Duty's head developer.
Yeah.
Because there isn't one. There used to be when they were good.
Yeah, there used to be. There's no franchise quarterback to these like developers.
There you go.
They're not getting $120.6 million.
I don't appreciate all the Tony Romo jokes. Every day I wake up to a new Tony Romo joke. Like the one this morning was, "I'm not perfect, but at least I'm not a Cowboys fan." So,
I saw that one.
Yeah, they are like digging in, and you know what I have to say? It's probably true.
You might win. You might win the Super Bowl next season.
Yeah, you might too. With your 4 people on your team.
Hey, I think our defense is going to be better than the offense next year.
All right, BlizzCon tickets are going on sale April 24th and 27th.
Awkward sports moment.
Yeah. If you have a lot of money, you can go. If you're really lucky, you can go. But you have to have both at the same time. Because they're only going on sale for a couple of hours. They will most definitely sell out. If you don't want to take your luck and you have a little more money to spend, you can grab a ticket to the charity auction, which is like $500.
That's a lot of dough.
Yeah, I see you trying to sign up right now.
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah. So if you're interested in BlizzCon, I mean, we talked about it. Anaheim, California, November. Tickets on sale April 24th and 27th. Try your luck.
Try your luck.
Neverwinter Open Beta starts April 30th. I got into some of the closed beta. I was actually really looking forward to the game until I played it, and now I'm no longer looking forward to the game. Yeah,
that bad, huh? It's free to play, isn't it?
It is, and it has some promising aspects. Like, it's probably going to be the closest thing to D&D that people can play in a video game form. It's definitely going to pass DDO with Dungeons & Dragons Online. But I couldn't get past the bad animations and the bad combat. Like, to me, a game like an MMO, the combat has to look smooth. It definitely didn't look smooth. Like, you'd hit a button and you'd have to wait, and then there would be some lag.
So there's like jerky.
Yeah, and that could be closed beta. So I will probably give it one more shot. Maybe after it officially launches, and if it's still the same, probably not going to go into it. But I mean, they pumped it up because it has what they call the Foundry, so people can go in and make like their own, basically like Dungeons & Dragons. They can make their own thing, and I've never really been into Dungeons & Dragons. I like to think myself one nerd tier up from that. But it's a cool concept, especially for people who do like that stuff. So
yeah, I remember how popular Neverwinter Nights was.
Right, and you could do the same thing. It's just Neverwinter Nights was that top-down isometric dungeon crawler, blah 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 blah. everybody was Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah.
So, I said, we need to RP, and I was giving everybody classes, and Nikki didn't appreciate the class I gave her.
What?
Half ogre, elf. Looks like an elf, but has all the stats of the ogre. So, yeah, didn't go over too well. In my head it sounded great. Out of my mouth it sounded horrible.
Messed up, man.
That's right. I said you were a halfling.
Not a black elf?
No. Halflings have higher stealth.
Oh.
That's about the extent of my D&D knowledge. So needless to say, that did not go over well. So maybe we should stick to Neverwinter.
Yeah, Neverwinter.
Let her roll her own character.
Yeah, we'll stick to that.
Yeah.
This was, I thought was cool. Really, Xbox, like Microsoft, if you're listening, you need to start doing something for Xbox Live subscribers. For PlayStation Plus, you can get Demon Souls for free this month if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. And when I saw this, I was like, that's really cool. I mean, I do like how Sony's like giving something back to the people,
even though you have to pay for it.
Even though you have to pay for it, I mean, I feel like you're getting more. I feel like most people pay for Xbox Live just to be able to play their games online.
Yeah, and as crappy as that is, I'm kind of stuck in it, but that's the way it is. So.
Yeah, and it would be nice if they did a little more.
Right. I mean, Xbox recently has gotten better about their sales, but they've never gotten to the point where it's free.
Yeah.
And I think they could benefit from the same type of thing, like, maybe Xbox Live Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm sure they can't call it that. But,
yeah.
Xbox Live Platinum. There you go. Step up. And instead of $15 a month, it can be $20 a month. And same thing as Sony. They give a free major game a month, Xbox Live games for free, and you can play them as long as you're a Platinum member.
Yeah, like,
come on, hard.
Throw us a bone, dude. Throw us a bone.
Yeah.
Throw us a bone.
But they have gotten better about the gold sales.
Yeah, I have seen that. They'll actually there's a spot on Xbox Live where you can actually see what's available for which day and everything. I mean, it's pretty good.
And I mean, it used to be like a joke. Like when people said Xbox Live sale, they'd be like, "Oh, instead of 800 Microsoft points, what is it, like 700?" But they've actually started like discounting. Like all the Skyrim DLC was 50% off for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which that's pretty substantial considering 2 of the DLC packs is $20. So.
Yeah, I mean, they really have gotten better about it. Yeah. So that's good.
BioShock Infinite. Love the game. If you love the game, you can play the board game. It's a little more manual than the video game, but it seems like it's going to be very risk-like.
It looks like it.
But it is currently in development. Should be out in like 2 or 3 months. You can pre-order it now. Actually looks pretty cool. Like it looks like they're putting a lot of work into it. So I don't know if I'd necessarily buy it because when it comes out, it's going to be like $80.
Damn.
And right now, you can pre-order it for like $40. So that's pretty good. But I mean, it looks really complicated.
Yeah, it does.
Like for a board game based off of a shooter, like in a shooter you just go and shoot people. In the board game
you roll dice, you move little figurines.
Right. And it's cool that one of the things that struck me, and the whole reason we're kind of reporting on this, is it kind of interacts with the game. And the fact that Booker and Elizabeth are pieces on the board game. You don't play as them, but they move through the city, and they change how you have to plan around them, because obviously wherever they go, chaos and stuff follows, and it makes it much harder.
Oh, yeah.
So it sounds pretty cool, and I don't know if I'll check it out or not, but
it's a neat concept.
It's different. I like to see them branch out and do other stuff, especially with good titles.
Yeah.
So, yep. Poker Night at the Inventory. It's a little known game by one of our favorite developers, Telltale Games. The first one featured a variety of characters like Strong Bad, Tycho from Penny Arcade, stuff like that, and it's a single-player poker experience, which sounds kind of weird. But they dropped the trailer for the second one on April Fool's Day. Everybody thought it was a joke. Apparently, it's not a joke. It's coming out later.
It's a real game.
Later this I guess, season, because they said before summer.
Okay.
And we've got the trailer, so we'll
check it out.
Yeah.
Rated M for mature.
Frickin' zombies.
Have you tried using all your inventory items with all your other inventory items?
Sometimes I gotta tell you, you can't do that.
Stop pussyfooting around and give those undead jerks a taste of your boomstick!
Forget about those primitive Earth weapons, minion! Run over to that vending machine over there and get yourself a badass Hyperion conference call!
No, wait. Go back to Clementine's house for a
Siphon some
ball of
gas for your
string.
chainsaw!
Check it out!
Use the
That
string with the
Walker
rock.
has
Forget the
side
rock!
mission.
Fire or boom!
Go! This isn't working. Let's play something else. Something with high stakes.
Oh, I've got an idea, but we'll need another player.
I love these little moments of quiet before the crying starts.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks pretty neat. And, you know, GLaDOS being the dealer.
Yeah.
There goes my money right there. I mean, because you know it's going to be funny.
So it's only single player.
Yeah, only single player. And
Can you play it online or anything, or?
Nope. Nope. And like the first one, the characters obviously interact with each other. And I was watching some videos from the first one, and it's pretty funny to see different stuff happen. So I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. It's gonna come out on PC, Xbox, PlayStation Network. They didn't say anything about Nintendo, but they didn't not say Nintendo. Like they didn't actually come out and say no. They just said not right now.
They didn't laugh and then say no.
Yeah.
Like in that one Unreal 4 story.
Right. So I'm really interested. The only thing that kind of bothers me is it's not Bruce Campbell doing Ash's voice.
Yeah, it does suck. You know, especially he's like a huge voice acting dude now.
And that's he made Ash. So I won't pass judgment on it because the guy that they did get seems okay. So we'll see once he gets a little more dialogue. But I mean, Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
It's Brock Sampson. You know it's going to be funny. So I'm looking forward to it.
Do they still make that show? Is that
Yeah. Venture. Actually, right now, one of the teasers for the new season is Game of Thrones related.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's still going on, and it's actually probably still one of my favorite shows on there because it's still been consistently funny.
Nice.
And your favorite last story?
The VR kit.
Yeah.
So this was the VR kit that we talked about before, right? Yeah. So
the Kickstarter.
Yeah. There was a Kickstarter for like a virtual reality kit. Was the one with that funny picture?
Yeah, that was like the super early prototype. Yeah. The new one isn't quite that bad.
It isn't as goofy.
Yeah, it's very low profile. Like it maybe sticks out like that.
Okay. So. But the kits are going to be shipping
now.
Now, yeah.
For the Kickstarter, they'll still be available for sale later on this year.
But I mean, that's pretty cool. That we're finally getting these kits are being shipped out, so people will be able to start fooling around with them. And
I didn't watch all of it, but there's a 40-minute video of a guy who got his, and IGN goes and interviews him to play with it, and they were showing me like all the modes and stuff. Not me personally, but they were showing everyone all the modes personally.
Yeah.
And because a lot of my questions is how does it work? Like, is it just 3D and like you still move and everything like you? But there's actually different input modes that you can choose, like how much the mouse controls, how much your face controls and stuff. And they demoed it live for Team Fortress 2.
Okay.
And, like obviously Team Fortress 2 has all the different classes that move at different speeds, have different skills and stuff. And it was really cool, like for the sniper, when he would zoom in, where he would look would change not where he was aiming, but how he was looking down the barrel. So it was almost, I would say it was almost realistic. Like if your eye wasn't like dead center on the barrel, like if you started to tilt up, you would only see the top of the scope. I shouldn't call it barrel, it should be scope.
Yeah.
And other cool things was like he could move forward and look down, and he could jump. He knew when to jump because he could look down and see it.
Wow.
And the big thing that they were arguing about is if it had competitive advantage, because like now in first-person shooters, you have to look where you aim. But as a heavy, he had the machine gun going, and he would look left, look right, and it would look left and look right, but still keep firing where he was aiming.
Oh, yeah, that would give you a competitive advantage.
Yeah, and there were different modes and different sensitivities and stuff, and he obviously was starting to get sick from it.
Yeah,
because it does come with a warning, like you got to ease into it, like 10 minutes a day type of thing. But it's cool to see like something seriously being developed like that. The big old goofy thing we made fun of a lot.
Yeah, we did.
But this is promising. Like I'd probably never own one, but it's cool to see that technology come into a friend. It'd be cool to go somewhere and do that stuff like Dave and Buster's or something where they have stuff like that.
We all get motion sick and drunk.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
That'd be cool.
All right, well we are definitely phoning in the discussion topics this week.
Yeah.
So we will discuss.
Looking at the time.
Wait, what time is it?
Oh, 7:40.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Kickstarter.
Yeah. Actually, let's skip Kickstarter. Kickstarter is there. Let's do yours because yours is better, and we are.
Okay. I was thinking. Okay. We're kind of bouncing back and forth because we couldn't think of another topic today for discussion, and I was thinking, okay, we haven't seen we haven't seen the next Xbox yet. We haven't really seen anything about it. We've seen the PlayStation 4's controller,
right?
And the Wii U is here, but it's getting crapped on, sorta. It's kind of like a laughing stock. What do you think? Yeah, figuratively. What's your what do you think the outlook is for true next gen gaming? With the Frostbite 3, and I watched the Battlefield 4 video, the 17-minute long video. It's really amazing.
Ran on PC.
Ran on PC, yeah. Ran on PC. And Unreal Engine 4. So right. And Frostbite 3.
I think honestly, I think it depends on the price point. I think if some of these systems are spec'd the way they say they are at like the $500 to $600 price range, and that's what they truly come out with, I think we'll see an upshift in PC gaming. I think that because I went on Newegg today because I had to build a work computer or submit a quote for a work computer. And of course, initially I was just screwing around adding the stuff I wanted, and I had like a $17,000 PC, and I was like, okay, let me scale it back. But then I started thinking like, let me try to make a gaming PC that I know will play games, maybe not on the highest settings, but medium to high settings for a budget. And I actually built a pretty good budget PC that, outside of Crysis, could probably play most games on high for like $700. Which, that is not bad.
No,
that didn't include a monitor, but, most people, I assume...
Most HD TVs can play.
Right, and I assume most people have a monitor now of some kind, whether it's CRT. But that got me thinking, and actually, you posting this just happened to coincide with this, but that got me thinking about the next-gen consoles, and I'm like, they're going to have a problem, and I think that's kind of why they're jumping into the media area more so than the PC is, like, because I think they're trying to build up that base rather than just rely on gaming.
Yeah,
which that's working out great for the Wii U with
I guess.
Wii TV and all their great games and being really sarcastic if you can't tell.
They're great. They're great third-party support.
Right.
Yeah.
So I honestly think we'll see an uptick in PC gaming.
Like even you were already a PC gamer.
Right.
Like me, I want to become more of a PC gamer just to like cut the crap and buy games cheaper.
Right.
And it's the same games that are coming out for PlayStation and Xbox.
And most games on Medium look better than they do on the console equivalents. Currently, because we're at the end of a generation. and that may change.
That's true.
But I'm interested to see what they'll do with the Xbox, because if it has that always-on support, or needs always-on, if it has that DRM against used games, at that point, I'd rather have a PC, because that's how a PC is. For most big PC games, you need to be always-on, or there's some kind of DRM. And there's no support for used games on PC. There's pirating. We won't talk about pirating, but you're not getting money back from pirating.
Yeah.
And you're not spending any money for pirating. But PC, there's never been a used game market for PC. Well, at least in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. So honestly, that's what I think. I think. Well, I say console gaming will die. No. People who say PC gaming's dead, console gaming's dead, they don't really know what they're talking about. They ebb and flow. Like it's always been that way. PC gaming upticks, console gaming downticks. I think at a certain point, especially in the near future, we will see PC gaming overtake console gaming, maybe permanently, because of developers like Steam and stuff like that, who are
especially
trying to
if we
make
get the like the Steam box.
Right.
I think it's called Steam box. Should have been called Steam Machine.
Right.
If the Steam box, does well, and like maybe there's a future iteration where we do get like a small PC in a box, and we'll just go from there. Like I think, especially with the emergence of like the Ouya and stuff,
right,
we're gonna see it's gonna rattle the cage. I think.
It's gonna change the climate very significantly. I think, and I think a lot of these developers and I think a lot of these hardware manufacturers are seeing that, and maybe that's why they know they have to restructure now, because it may be too late. And I honestly think we will see Nintendo drop off as a hardware developer, at least as a console market. I think they'll probably still stay handheld, because they do really well. Sony will probably say it because they have the infrastructure, and Microsoft has it, so they'll probably say it too.
They'll probably stick around. They're just gonna have to rethink their game plan, I think.
Right, because I mean, if you think about the Steam box, say theoretically a year from now the Steam box launches, Xbox 720 Durango, whatever it is out, PlayStation 4 is out. Steam box can play all the same games, mostly. The only downside to PC gaming is sports titles generally don't come out for PC.
Yeah.
But other than that, almost every other game is pretty much cross-platform. Like Microsoft has Gears of War and stuff like that. But there are very few console-specific games. The Steam box comes out. People say, "Well, I could buy an Xbox for $500. I could buy the Steam box for $600." Steam constantly has sales. It also functions as a PC. It's almost a no-brainer right there at that point. I mean, forget all the other stuff, the bonuses and stuff like that. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what comes up, because I've been a PC gamer since before high school.
Nice.
But I've been a console gamer since I was 6. So I had to start somewhere.
You had to start somewhere. And I mean, they each have their strengths and their weaknesses. So.
I read a really good article the other day about PC gaming and how certain games have certain problems with certain specific, say, graphics cards or systems or stuff like that, and that's the benefit and the con of choice. Like PC gaming is a choice. You choose what you want in your PC.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So true. Well, that was a good topic.
Yeah, I talked for what, 15 minutes? 10 minutes?
8 minutes.
8 minutes? Blah, blah, blah. All right, talk about Injustice.
Injustice, Gods Among Us. We got some video here.
Yeah, you can look at supers.
So it's not a secret that NetherRealms has been in bed with DC.
Right.
For a while, when they did Mortal Kombat versus DC. One of my brothers is a huge DC fan. I used to be one, but I went over to the Marvel side when the Maximum Carnage line came out of comics.
Never went back.
And I've never gone back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, some of the DC characters still have like a soft spot in my heart, but NetherRealms,
Love that.
yeah, NetherRealms, they're known for their fighting games, Mortal Kombat, and they decided to their next game, they wanted to do something with DC characters, and they actually got the green light to do something a little bit more, not ultra violent, yeah, more mature. So this game is darker than Mortal Kombat vs. DC, and I mean it looks good, and
the supers look amazing.
Yeah, the supers look really cool,
especially Deadpool's super. I mean, I don't think he'll be as funny.
Or you mean
Deathstroke?
Deathstroke, yeah, whatever it is.
He's not funny in the DC universe.
No, he's dumb.
His name is Slade Wilson.
Yeah. Slade.
To his credit, he came out first. But that doesn't make him the original.
No. No, he's not funny. But, yeah, there's Solomon Grundy. I mean, there's a lot of characters in this game.
There are a lot of DC characters in this game that I haven't heard of in years.
Yeah, there's
like Frost and Ares and stuff like that.
Black Adam.
Black Adam, right.
Harley Quinn's in here.
She looks a little different.
She does.
Still Harley Quinn, though.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you got your Superman, you got your Nightwing.
Yeah, I have to say, Superman special was pretty cool.
Very Dragon Ball Z-esque.
Yes. Although, like, looking at the game, I kind of worry, like, how good the internal fighting system is.
The combat in general.
Right. Now I'm going to trust NetherRealms to know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But like this video you can't really tell because it's all supers.
Yeah.
I wanted to go for the big.
Yeah. Something like that was just awesome.
Right. But
really
the actual fighting system looks like it's really hard to pick up. Because like when I watch people play the demo, they have absolutely no idea what to do. And I think fighting games really rely on that beginner base to hook people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of worried like how serious it's going to be.
That's how I felt with the actual Mortal Kombat vs. DC. I just couldn't get into it just because the game didn't
feel right.
Yeah, it didn't feel right. So hopefully they fixed that.
Right.
But you're talking now about how hers, like, the graphics look really nice on hers.
I think the graphics in general look really good, and I love how it like zooms in when she hits him in the face with the mallet. So
yeah,
Wonder Woman's I wasn't that impressed with.
No.
Just like Wonder Woman in general.
I know. Just like most DC characters in general.
Right.
Oh, he had some blood there.
Yeah. Lex Luthor's, his was actually really cool. I did like his. And unfortunately,
yeah,
the last one.
Man, what's that move called in Dragon Ball Z?
The Spirit Bomb.
The Spirit Bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, I was looking at it. It looks really cool.
The game comes out April 16th, which is, what is that? Is that next week?
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week.
So there you go. Next week you can pick it up. It's got, 24 characters initially plus DLC?
Yeah, let me double check. I think you're right.
I did some research on it when I was looking for videos. Because I've been keeping my eye on it. I actually read the first, there's a prequel comic out now, and I read, obviously there's more than one, but I read the first issue of the prequel comic series. It's actually the first DC comic I've read in probably 10 years.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And it's all digital right now. And they're probably going to do a hardback of it. And I might actually buy the trade paperback of that, because it's pretty good. Like, some of the stuff they do with some of the characters is very dark. So, I'm intrigued.
Shazam.
Yeah, he was in there.
Mm-hmm. Shazam.
Yeah. And, of course, this comes off the news that they cancel all the DC shows on Cartoon Network.
Wow.
Canceled Green Lantern, canceled Young Justice. But it picked up Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go.
They did?
Like a comedy series.
Oh.
So. Oh, well. Alright. So who wants to see Starcraft 2? In my horrible, horrible voice work.
Let's see this.
Alright. So, Starcraft 2, here it is. I'm sorry.
Not many games have the history that Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm has. Well, I've been playing Starcraft for 15 years now. It's hard not to be a little biased towards the franchise that has, while not always been perfect, been as close to it as feasibly possible. Starcraft 2 reinvigorated the franchise in all the right ways, improving the graphics, story, and competitive multiplayer. So now, 2 years later, we get the first expansion that not only has to live up to the standards that Wings of Liberty set, but also the legacy Brood War set for the original Starcraft. I'm happy to say that it delivers and more in most areas. The graphics are crisp and clean, allowing you to zoom into the action if you so please, although you may want to pay attention to what's going on around you. The units look great, especially with everything maxed out. However, the terrain, buildings, and backgrounds, while sometimes bland, do the job well enough to set the mood without being too distracting. Environmental effects like lava and water process nicely and give a great sense of immersion into the conflict. But that's all stuff that looked good in Wings of Liberty. What about the new stuff? The small changes I did notice are mostly physics-based. A group of Zerglings exploding as a tank rains down fire has never produced such a satisfying pop, especially with all the little bits flying in the right directions. Overall, the graphics are Starcraft. It's not Crisis, so it's nothing groundbreaking here, but still good in their own right. The music in Starcraft has evolved over the years, and rightfully so. The background music sets the tone perfectly, whether it's a ship corridor with a somber tune, or a fast-paced open-field battle with some upbeat, rockish type music going on. You're always going to feel like you're hearing the right music. The sound effects for all the units remain satisfying and sound like they fit each unit's personality, if they have one. The voice acting is top-notch, as with Wings of Liberty. Jim, Kerrigan, Banks, and surprisingly this time around, all the Zerg members have their own quirky personalities that shine through due to great voice work. Even the units have great sound clips, but this is nothing new for a Blizzard game. Overall, this game is just fun to listen to. Since Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm is such a beast, I'm going to have to break up single player and multiplayer in terms of gameplay, so we'll get started with single player. Picking right up where Wings of Liberty left off, Kerrigan is no longer Queen of Blades or the head of the Zerg, and must now find her own path to vengeance against Arcturus Minx, who left her to die some 15 years ago. Story-wise, it's simple, with very few twists and turns, but still satisfying, and unlike the Season 3 finale of Walking Dead, you get a resolution at the end, one way or another. I can't talk too much more about the story without delving into spoilers, but I will say it's good. There's virtually nothing to complain about from a narrative perspective. Each mission is different. Never once in the entire 5 to 10 hour campaign does it simply have you make a base and attack an enemy. With side missions and master achievements, there is a lot of replayability, not to mention the dreaded brutal difficulty. The new systems added to level up Kerrigan are a nice addition, but some skills are way more beneficial than others, almost punishing you if you pick the wrong ones. You can also customize each Zerg unit with one of 3 abilities that you can swap out in between missions. These include more armor, longer range, yada yada. This metagame is a nice way to make certain missions a little easier if you know what to expect. Finally, each unit has 2 permanent upgrade paths that you must first do a mission for and be able to test out each before you pick. I do like this method as you get to see the pros of each of the paths and weigh them against your personal playstyle. Overall, I found the single player campaign very compelling. Moving on to multiplayer. The addition and subtraction of units in a competitive multiplayer scene is always a dangerous thing to do, and while Blizzard has gotten it almost down to a science, there are still a few problems. Terrans have flip-flopped and gone from being great late game to now mediocre. Zerg, while being the focus of the expansion, still require a good bit of micro to play well, but are strong overall and in a much better place than when Wings of Liberty launched. Protoss have finally regained the sky with their new units and are once again dominating late game. Overall, the balancing is still good enough that you won't notice any disparity until you hit Master League, and all the new units are fun to use and dramatically change how the metagame works. 15 years ago, a game burst onto the scene that would become one of the most popular RTS titles of a generation. Today, Heart of the Swarm carries on that legacy with pride and determination. With good graphics, great sound and voice work, and a phenomenal campaign experience, I would recommend it to anyone who's a fan of an RTS, strategy, or just good games in general. Of course, you do have to buy Wings of Liberty first, but it's also a great game in its own right. While a few multiplayer balance concerns loom, Blizzard is always fast to rebalance if needed. So I'm not going to penalize the game for that too much, and that's why I give Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm a 94 out of 100.
There it is.
There it is.
Wasn't too bad, was it?
No.
Yeah, I definitely need to use the higher grade mic to do them. But video editing's getting there. Like I'm learning.
Nice.
Fade, all the advanced basic stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm gonna have to do one. I wanted to do one for Tomb Raider, but I just had a busy weekend.
Yeah, you're pretty busy. You had your priorities.
Yeah, I had my priorities.
So, what do you think your first one will be? You think it'll be Tomb Raider?
I think it'll be Tomb Raider, just to get a feel for it, and then eventually. Oh, by the way, I just got a text today or an email today that to get for my address to get the Star Trek game.
Sweet.
So I'll be able to play that game before the game's released. I think it comes out in 3 weeks. Yeah, it comes out in 3 more weeks. So I'll be able to play that game before.
Get all the footage and put it up on YouTube first.
Yeah, just have it all ready to go.
Right.
Let's play Star Trek, the video game.
Yep.
Yeah.
They actually just added a expansion to Star Trek Online.
Nice.
The Romulans.
Ooh.
I don't know who they are. So
they're like a cousin race to the Vulcans.
Okay.
They're basically they're Vulcans, but they use emotions.
I wasn't really interested, but thanks for that. That's some
Trek knowledge. Trek knowledge.
Well, I guess that'll about do it for us.
Yeah.
Do it for us today.
Episode 45. We're getting there.
Yeah, 5 more and we're at half of 100.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. I think I'm gonna have to do something big for episode 50. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll have to do something.
Yeah, we should.
Maybe I'll cut together a song, like dubstep remix of us.
Man. Oh man, we should put that out there. Maybe get some.
Yeah, we won't get anything. So you got Tomb Raider and XCOM coming out pretty much. Days every week.
Yeah, they're going until the end of they're going until May.
Yeah, I looked at our YouTube page and when I was trying to tag stuff and I had to to get to the current videos, I had to go back 2 pages. So it's cool that they're there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've gotten better about updating the webpage every day.
Nice.
Now that I got all the backdrafts cleared off.
Nice.
Backdrafts.
Backdrafts.
Yeah.
Fire.
Right. But once I got all the backdrafts cleared off, I can just click on it on the main page and post it.
Nice.
Change the name and good to go.
Nice.
You have 4 times the amount of posts that I do on the website.
Just from the Let's Plays?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's good though. That's good. I mean, we need content. And
we need content. People are watching them. Yeah, we're slowly growing, with our viewers and everything.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Analytics-wise, which I will probably never divulge too much of our analytics, but the website, the most views we've ever had on the website, we are more than halfway there 8 days into the month. For a month, the most views, we were halfway there 8 days in.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we are slowly pulling in viewers, which is good, because we did this show initially as for fun, but we do have opinions, and we do want people to hear our opinions, and we do want people to tell us that our opinions are wrong. So you can always write. You can always write.
People fired up.
I set up the comment system on the webpage, so
cool.
You can sign up and comment on anything you want on the webpage now. You can always email us at the email address that we put at the end, gamersdigest.podcast@gmail. Join us in chat. Do whatever you want. I'm looking for video hosting right now to maybe get us on iTunes, but right now that's not looking so good because I'm not made of money.
Yeah, we're not made of monies.
Yeah, so next week will be probably BioShock review or maybe SimCity. I don't know which. Maybe Battle Block if I can get some footage. But I do want to do co-op.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. That would be cool.
So, anything else you got coming out? I think I hit everything.
Yeah, I've got a XCOM video coming out every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and a Tomb Raider video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Hey, yeah, we should start a Kickstarter. Kickstarter cool. Gamers Digest. We signed up for Otakon.
Oh, really?
We put into the pool.
Okay.
Because Artist Alley, you have to get picked to be there. But I did enter us, so we may have a booth at Otakon, and that might be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
And I have lots of ideas.
We gotta do the shirts and stuff.
Right, shirts, stickers, game pads, game systems, everything. We are gonna sell our pants if we have to,
and sign them.
And that's extra. All right, we'll see you next week. Every week. Mondays at 7.
Gamers Digest is a Spider One and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the Fair Use Law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.